All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to talk about a single idea that could totally flip the script on how you handle challenges, especially when it comes to building wealth. And it all starts with one really important question. I want you to really think about that for a second. What if that massive setback, that loss that just made your stomach drop, what if it was actually a golden opportunity in disguise? I know, it sounds a little wild, but it is the absolute key to everything we're about to cover. Let's just be real about the world we're living in right now. It is chaotic, it's unpredictable, and that's exactly why this mindset we're talking about isn't just some nice-to-have positive thinking. It's a flat-out essential tool for survival and for success.
Does any of this sound familiar? Of course it does. One day, a market is red hot, the next, it's in the tank. A startup that looks like a sure thing suddenly goes under. This isn't to scare you, it's just the reality we're all playing in. So the real question isn't if you're going to face a setback, but how you're going to respond when you do.
So, how do the most successful people on the planet deal with all this chaos? Well, it turns out they have a secret weapon, a core principle that was famously captured by Napoleon Hill after he spent decades studying the absolute titans of industry.
Let that one sink in for a minute. Every adversity carries the seed of an equivalent benefit. This isn't just some motivational poster quote, okay? It's a strategic framework. What Hill is saying is that tucked away inside every single problem, every failure, is an opportunity that's just as big, if not bigger. The trick is knowing how to find it.
And this, right here, is the mental switch you have to flip. See, most people hit a setback and they just stop. They see a brick wall, a dead end. But a winner sees that exact same wall and looks for the doorway. It's not the end of the story, it's a plot twist.
You could call this strategic optimism. And no, this isn't about just blindly hoping things will work out. It's an active process. It's about looking a failure square in the eye and asking, okay, what are you here to teach me? Where's the lesson? How can I use this to get stronger? And that, my friends, is the real difference between people who just dream about success and those who actually go out and get it.
And look, this isn't just some theory. The proof is everywhere. You think Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times to make a light bulb? No! He found 10,000 ways it didn't work. Elon Musk was on the brink of total failure with both SpaceX and Tesla. And you see it today with online creators whose first product launch is a total flop. They don't quit, they learn, they pivot, and they come back 10 times stronger. This stuff works. Okay, let's make this really tangible. Enough with the theory. Let's look at how this mindset actually plays out in the real world, right now, with a situation you've probably seen or even been in yourself. So let's talk about Sarah. Now, Sarah is just like a lot of us. She's smart, she's trying to grow her money, and she decides to get into the crypto market. She does her research and puts a pretty decent chunk of cash, $5 grand, into a token that looks like it has huge potential. And then, bam, this happens. The market takes a nosedive, and her investment is down 70%. That $5,000 is now worth just $1,500. Ouch, that is a gut punch. And for most people, this is where the story ends. Panic, regret, and they swear off investing forever. But not Sarah. Sarah remembers that principle from Napoleon Hill. And instead of just staring at the loss, she takes a breath and forces herself to ask that one powerful question. This is the pivot point. This is her turning that dead end into a doorway.
So what's the benefit? What did she find? Well, first, the intense pain of that loss gave her the motivation to finally learn technical analysis so she wouldn't make the same mistake twice. Second, it was a brutal but valuable lesson in diversification, pushing her to balance her portfolio with more stable stuff. And third, it drove her to actually connect with real experts on platforms like X, building a powerful network she never would have had otherwise.
And the result of all this? Her portfolio started climbing again, sure, but way more importantly, she became a smarter, tougher, more resilient investor. She even started using her new expertise to build a little side hustle. That devastating failure literally became the foundation for her biggest successes. Her setback didn't define her, it refined her. Okay, so now it's your turn. We've seen the principle, we've seen the proof. So let's break this down into a simple, actionable playbook that you can start using the very next time you hit a wall.
This is where we go from just understanding the idea to actually making it a part of who you are. So, you ready? Let's do this.
All right, here it is, your 5-step playbook. Number 1, the second you feel that sting of failure, you reframe. You ask the question. Number 2, you have to act immediately. Take one tiny step forward within 24 hours just to break that feeling of being stuck. 3. Study the loss like it's a masterclass. Figure out what went wrong and turn that failure into genuine expertise. 4. Don't go it alone. Find other resilient people who get it. And 5, and this one's huge, keep a log of your comebacks. Track those small wins. It builds unstoppable momentum.
Seriously, I want you to pause and do this right now. Think of one thing recently that didn't go your way. A project that failed, a trade that went south, whatever. Got it? Okay, now what's the seed of benefit hidden in there? What's the lesson?
So let's wrap this all up. Why is this more than just a coping mechanism? Why is adopting this mindset your single greatest advantage in today's world?
It's simple, really. In a world that changes on a dime, the winners aren't the people who never fall down. They're the ones who get back up the fastest, who learn the lesson, and who adapt. This mindset turns a setback, which stops most people in their tracks, into a setup for your next big move. That is your competitive edge.
Here's the bottom line. You are going to face setbacks. That's a guarantee on any journey worth taking. But your success, that is not guaranteed. That has to be earned, and it's earned through persistence.
So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Your next big win, your next breakthrough, it's out there. And right now, it's probably hiding on the other side of your most recent challenge. The only question left is, are you going to keep going to claim it?